What's up, guys? I'm Nikhil Ball, your host of the Mindset of the Miles podcast. For those who don't already know, I'm a varsity runner for South Lyon East High School, and our guest today is my brother Dylan Ball, and he is a runner at Millennium Middle School. So why don't you introduce yourself, Dylan?
Hey, I'm Dylan Ball. I go to Millennium Middle School and I play three sports. I play football, basketball, and I run track as well.
So how's the basketball season been going so far?
It's been going pretty good. It's just the adjustment to staying up later for specific practices and waking up early for school has been difficult. But overall, it's been pretty easy to do because it's not really that big of an adjustment. Just staying up a little bit later than usual. I'm used to it from last year and years before that, so it's not too big of a drop.
Yeah, and I'll say it's going to be a big adjustment because he's going to a meet in 2 weeks, and I'm really excited to see how he does, because this is his first time racing in a while, and he raced one race in cross country, but that was like one race in the middle of like a 12-month break essentially. So, are you excited for the upcoming track season, Dylan?
Yeah, I'm excited for the upcoming track season. I really want to PR and just overall do better than last year.
And as excited as I am for my own season, I'm just really excited to see what he does this season because last year he hit like almost a minute PR in the 2 mile. He went from consistently like 12:20s and 5:40s in the mile. And in this race, he went out on 5:43, which was like a mile PR by like a second or two, I think. Maybe it was a couple more seconds, but give or take 5 seconds. And then he came through the 2 mile and finished in 11:36, which was about 50-second PR. So how did that feel? Like, did you expect that, or was it sort of just like out of the blue?
No, I didn't expect it really at all. It was out of the blue. It's just it felt really weird to be in like a higher stage, but overall it felt like really weird. I did not expect it at all.
So what do you think it was? Because that was your first race with spikes, right?
It was my first race with spikes. I did break them in like the day before.
Yeah. Did that make you do like repeats or something
I'm
or
pretty sure I
strides?
did.
I
I'm
made
not
them do
sure.
something,
I,
but
I knew I ran a couple miles with them.
yeah. So but anyways, um, do you think it was the spikes or do you think it was the competition? Because I know you didn't necessarily have much competition at the double dual meets and stuff.
I think it was just a mix of a lot of things. Part of it was confidence for sure. Just being on a bigger stage gave me a lot more confidence to run a quicker time. Also, the spikes helped as well, and it's just the competition was a lot higher.
Yeah, and I'll say in sixth grade, I didn't really have that. Because I wasn't really a great runner in sixth grade. In fact, I would even go as far as to say I was a pretty bad runner. So like, how did it feel being like a sixth grader that was in that position? That's like a pretty big meet. It was a conference meet for those who are curious.
Yeah, it felt really good to be at that level in my age group. It's just it felt good, but it's just now thinking back at it, I knew there was so much that I could have improved on and so much I could have got better at while
And
I was in the season. Yeah.
yeah, that's another reason I'm really excited because I'm just really curious to see where he can go because you were able to pull that off of like very minimal training. And frankly, I believe personally that middle school should stay pretty minimal because you don't want to like peak too early. But like you weren't even doing any necessarily running specific training until like the week leading up to that. So I just really think it's impressive that you're able to pull that off. So what are you gonna do differently this year, to make sure that you perform your best and don't sell yourself? Maybe shorter than you like as short as you did last year.
Yeah, I'm gonna start this year. I'm gonna try to refer to you more on what I do for my runs, since I know you have a good running education. But if I just start training earlier, I think I'll succeed much better than last year.
Yeah, and I will say this. I don't necessarily like always have the time to coach, but I do like coaching my brother and my friends and stuff and the other middle schoolers. Like it's fun, making workouts and stuff. And one day, hopefully, you'll be that person because I'm gonna graduate when you're a freshman and going into sophomore year. So hopefully you can even if you don't run, just carry that with you in football or basketball or whatever it is you do in high school. So I know that you had to take a little break from running, especially structure, due to football and stuff. So when exactly did you start like running again after the football season ended?
Yeah, I started running a little bit after football season, so like mid-November, which that brought me to my a meet, and I haven't ran in a while, so yeah, that probably didn't go as planned, but overall, I just started in November and I kept building up my miles.
I forgot. What did you run there? It was the Meet of Champions. We talked about that last episode with Easton. Was it like a 21 or something?
It was like a 2016, I think, and I started off feeling really good at a really good pace, but over time I just slowed down throughout the race, which wasn't very good.
Yeah, I mean that's still pretty good. Especially considering that you hadn't really ran at all. But I know you just started actually doing more structured workouts roughly a month ago, give or take like a week or so. So how have those workouts and just like a more structured training plan been feeling?
Yeah, the workouts have been feeling pretty good. In the beginning of the workouts, it was a big jump or a big change. So I felt like I was going at a faster pace with a more effort, but I ended up being slower, and that was not helpful for me. But I kept like getting quicker and quicker, and over time the pace kept getting faster, and it started to feel a lot better for sure.
And I mean, like a couple random questions, real quick. Do you prefer like tempo or speed workouts? Because like I know I prefer tempos because like I kind of it's hard, but I kind of get to just sit back and cruise. But like, what about you?
For me, it really depends. If I'm doing repeats at tempo pace that aren't time based, if it's distance based at tempo, I think I'll probably like tempo more. But if it's uh like speed workouts, like repeats or something, at a quicker pace, and it's not time based, then I definitely like those more because I'm not too big of a fan of time based tempo work.
Yeah, I mean, I'll say this like I haven't really given you any of this lately, but like, how would you feel? I'll get you this eventually, but like, how do you think you handle like just like a 15 or 20 minute straight tempo run?
I think I could handle it pretty well overall. It's just so far I've been going on the treadmill a lot, which has been keeping my pace like on track. But going outdoors, it would just trying to keep a steady pace, like a specific pace that's at my tempo pace for that certain amount of time would feel really good to do. And I think I could for sure handle it if I get my pacing down.
Yeah, I don't know what it is though. Is it just me or like this year has the tread not been that bad? Like
No.
I feel like it hasn't been like fun necessarily, but that hasn't been like crazy boring.
No, the treadmill hasn't been bad this year at all, for sure. I've been going on it a lot more actually than usual. But yeah, it's just been a lot colder outside, so it's encouraged me to go on it, and it's not as bad as it seems, and like I treated it like it. It was kind of just like almost like placebo effect. It was just the worst you think of it, the worst you think of it, the worse it actually is.
Yeah, I kind of like the treadmill because I'm never necessarily running hard on the treadmill, so I kind of just get to like chill out with my thoughts, which is kind of cool because like it's like sleeping, and I like to sleep. So I know we talked a little bit about basketball and stuff, but like, do you mind explaining a little more like exactly how practices and stuff are structured for you with that?
Practices, I feel like this season, honestly, is probably practice wise one of the easier seasons that I've done or that I've came by, which is why I'm running more during practice days. But we basically just do like specific drills and stuff throughout the practice and do a little bit of scrimmaging at the end. And like our coaches say that the scrimmaging is the conditioning, unlike other years where I actually do conditioning. So that's kind of why I run more on practice days.
Where exactly do you fall on your team? Like, how good are you compared to the rest of your teammates?
I'd say I'm for sure in the upper half. My team has there's been a lot of teams and the talent has been spread out, so it's not none of the teams have been exactly great compared to other teams in the league. But on my team, I'm for sure like in the upper top area because I'm one of the ball handlers on the team, and our team overall isn't terrible. It's just we haven't played together, and it's just like put on a court without playing any games together has been difficult. But I've been in the upper side of my team for sure this year.
So how do the overall structures of basketball practice compare to like track practice or even football practice?
Yeah, well, track practice for sure like happens a lot more often. There's more track practices than basketball practices and even football practices. And track practices as well, they're just like it just kind of depends on what you're trying to do. If you're trying to do distance running, then I for sure think track practice is like more difficult compared to basketball at least because basketball we're just kind of doing stuff that's at everyone's level, but in track there's specific things for people at specific levels, and if I do things that's at my level, then it's a lot more difficult.
Well, how has track changed? Because I remember, and part of it had to do with me being like trusted by the coaches for being a pretty good athlete. but like, are you still able to kind of like do your own thing if the coaches know that you know what you're doing?
Oh yeah, I think you are able to do your own thing, but I don't think any of the coaches knew me like super well in the beginning of the season. And I don't think I had enough confidence or speed in general to do that because I came into the track season not even thinking I was going to do distance. So I didn't really do my own thing throughout the season.
Yeah, but I will say, I know he didn't want to do distance, but it kind of started as he said he would do the mile, and I was like, that's great. And then he ran a pretty good time in the mile. He was like, what, like 5:50 low?
Hmm.
Yeah, so I was like, that's pretty good. You should probably stand there. And then he was like mid 12s in the 2 mile. Yeah, and the exciting part about that was like, he just ran a very fast time out of the blue, and I don't even think, I mean, he even said he didn't expect himself to do that. So hopefully he can run like a similar breakthrough race at Grand Valley. And ideally he'll PR by a pretty big amount. Like what's the main goal for that?
My main goal is to. I know I haven't ran in a while, and I haven't even ran in a meet in a while. So this is my first indoor meet I've ever ran. So hopefully I get to. My goal is to get under 11:45 for sure. It would be pretty sweet to do a PR, but I don't know if this is the exact meet that I'm going to do it.
Yeah, and I mean I'm not necessarily like over expecting of him, but I really think he probably has sub 11:30 in him for sure. Which is obviously definitely a PR. And then I think he probably has a shot at sub 11:20, especially because he's been picking up the training. And remember, he ran this 11:36 without like a ridiculous amount of specific training. So I'm just really excited to see what they can do. So what do you feel about the training? Like, do you feel like you like it, or is there anything you want to adjust about it? Like, how do you think it suits you?
Overall, I think the training has been pretty good. It's running on the treadmill has been mentally getting a little more difficult because there's nothing to really observe on my runs and stuff. And like when it's just staring at a wall for a certain amount of time straight, it's not as fun. But overall, the training's felt pretty good.
Yeah, and that's a big piece of training is, you know, you might not think you're capable of doing something, but if you have confidence and like you're feeling great, that's one thing. And you didn't even have to be feeling great, but like if you just have confidence that you can do something, even if you don't completely believe in it, like you're probably gonna do it at some point or another, even if it's not like when you want to do it. Because like, and I keep saying this, but like the 11:36 is like that's literally exactly what happened, right?
Yeah, I didn't have as much confidence before, but it just built up once I got to that big of a race.
And I'm also really excited to see what you qualify for this spring and honestly like throughout the rest of middle school and even into high school if you run cross country and you'll probably run track. But like this track season, I think you'll make it to the Megastar meet, which is basically middle school states in Michigan, and then because I think the qualifying time for that is like 11:15 or 11:20 or something. And then obviously the county meet, that's a really big meet. There's like 50 schools in that, thousands of athletes. And it's always a really competitive field. I think the winner last year was like a 10-10, and I think the meet record is like a 950 something. And this is for middle school, mind you. So I think if you can get into that field, that'll be great for competition and stuff.
Like a thing that has helped me succeed and become better as running is I have a big group of people that are also good at pushing themselves and others. And that's helped me be successful in running because there's been people at similar speeds that help me like improve a lot.
And there's also been people at faster speeds, like Vedant and Nolan, who are also runners at the middle school. They're like low 11s, right?
Hmm.
And I think this year that's going to be really great for you because I think they'll probably be mid to high 10s for the 2 mile, and you're trying to go um, within probably 30 or 40 seconds of that. I think that's really going to be great help to you. So how do you feel about having like people to push you? Because obviously it doesn't make it easy to, qualify for things because sometimes it's a limited amount of individuals. How does that make you feel that you don't always like have a guaranteed qualifier?
I think I think for sure making bigger meets and like competing more with people is going to be a lot better when I have competition in every race when I'm racing with my teammates that are also super fast. So when I go against them, that's going to help me later in the season when I go against other people for sure.
And I'll say this, you don't necessarily have to have like a team that pushes you much. Like our team is pretty good, but I'm an outlier on my team, especially speed wise. So like I don't really have people pushing me during workouts and stuff unless it's like a sprinting rep, like a 400 or under type of thing. And the one senior that did like really push me, graduated, so he's gone. And now I kind of it's just me and myself. But like I joined the track club over this winter, and they're the people that host that are the 3 time in a row state champions. So it's really cool because I'm getting pushed by like sub 15 5K runners, guys that are probably going to be under 9 this year in the 2 mile, sub 155 800 runners, sub 4 15 milers. Like it's just really great to have an environment where people are better than you because you can't be the best in the room. Otherwise, you're not going to get any better. And I think you probably feel the same way, right, Dylan?
Yeah, for sure. And like you said about making states for Michigan, that would be a big meet to go to. And making those qualifying times would be a lot easier in those bigger races when I'm having people push me like to my limits throughout the entire season.
Yeah, and that's also why I'm really excited to see not only what you do, but what everyone that's pushing you and getting pushed by each other does. So how's training going to change as you get like closer and into track season and stuff, especially with having other people? Because I'm gonna like try sending you guys workouts if I can. If you guys ever want ideas and stuff, but like, how's the training for you in specific going to change?
I think I'm gonna for sure be able to push myself more when I'm doing it with other people again who are as fast, if not faster than me, and who also want to compete. So even if it's just practice or a workout, competing is like very important to the team, which is also like another thing that helps me and my teammates succeed.
And yeah, like we said earlier, like having people to push you is a big contributor to success. And if you look at like any major groups, like take the Kenyans for example, even if there is outliers, like they're within a minute of each other's marathon or 30 seconds of each other's 10K. Like, they have people to push them, especially in like those shorter reps. Maybe someone has a faster kick and someone has a slower kick. Because, like, I think it will definitely improve, but like, Dylan doesn't have like a insane kick or anything. It's not bad, but like, it's not a killer kick. And like, how do you feel in the like end of your races? Like, when do you start your acceleration and your kick and stuff? Because I know you probably can't just save it for like the straightaway, right?
Mm-mm. No, I try to save my on longer races like the 3200. I try to like start my kick probably with 800 to go.
That's the way to do it.
And in the mile, I try to speed up on that third lap, but I really start my kick, like really start picking it up a lot with about like 600 meters to go. So yeah.
And what's like your long term goal? Because I know you might not necessarily like want to like run in the future as like a pro, but like maybe like time goals and stuff by the end of middle school. Like, what's your goals there?
By the end of middle school, like by next year, I'd probably want to get sub 11 for sure. Maybe even crack 1040, but it really just depends how like other sports go all around and how those impact my decisions.
Well, honestly, when I hear you say that, I think you're selling yourself short because like I went like 10:44 and I did not start nearly as good or as early as he did. So like I honestly, I'm gonna be completely honest. I think you could probably break 11 this year, especially because you're like gonna get pushed a lot and like have a more structured training plan and stuff. So like, I mean, don't sell yourself short. Just keep pushing because like, you never know. Like you didn't expect yourself to go out there and run a 11:36. So like, don't sell yourself short of an 11 flat this year. I think you could probably break 11 this year if things go right, and you could probably realistically be under 10:30 next year. And I think you have a pretty good potential for a mile too. I think you probably could be like under 5:15 at least this year, and you could probably be like under 4:55, if not under 4:50 next year.
And yeah, so to continue like running with people, I'm also excited about relay races this year. Hopefully I can run the 4 by, and even if I don't go to county in the 2 mile, I'm hoping that I can for sure go in the 4x8. So yeah.
Yeah, I think you're gonna have a really strong team there because, I mean, some of them aren't even like 800 guys, but they're just really strong runners overall. So I think they'll probably be pretty good in that. And honestly, we're not gonna have like a state champion relay team by any means, but like we'll have a pretty good team because our programs are improving. And like honestly, like the middle schoolers are doing really great. Like as we've been saying, like they're pushing each other and they're all getting a lot better, and they just have a will to run. So like that's really improving the high schools. And like as much as I give credit to the people at the high school, I also give credit to like you guys at the middle school because like you guys are coming to the high school and making it faster. So like what is your thoughts on that? Like
Yeah, I really think it's good that like the entire environment of like how you run in high school, there's like enough speed and talent for that to get competitive in some aspects, and it's like that along with middle school. But I think as like it continues and like time goes on, once you mix the middle school people with the high school people, it'll be a really good team and like really tough to go against.
yeah, and I mean I know you got a while, so like obviously opinions can change, but like how are you feeling about like running in high school, even if it's just track in like 2 years?
Yeah, I'm trying to for sure run distance and track, but I'm not 100% sure. I haven't really figured out if I'm a longer distance guy or if I'm a middle distance guy specifically because I've never really ran an 800 in an actual race before, and I've ran a limited amount of miles and 2 miles. So yeah.
Yeah, I think it would be good to get you in some 800s this year, you know?
Mhm.
Uh, like, would you be excited for that? Like, just to like see how you are in other races? Because, like I said, I don't think you're a sprinter by any means, but like in the 800 and stuff.
Yeah, it would be good to run an 800 because I want to discover if I'm really better at the 800 or middle distance running than actual long distance running. So yeah.
Well, I mean, I don't. Were your miles really competitive?
I don't think my miles weren't too competitive. My mile PR was at, that time trial that we ran, and I think I ran like a 5:41. So nothing too fast.
Yeah, yeah, there's that, and like, I mean, I think the mile was definitely more competitive than the 2 mile at most your meets, right?
Mhm.
But like it still wasn't like necessarily a competitive mile because my brother was still bringing up the front for the most part. Um, not out in front, but he was in like the chase pack. I'm pretty sure, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So like, I think it would be great to see you in like a mile or 800 field. You know, because I think we're both curious like how good you could do there because you haven't really seen that yet.
No. And I think the 800 would be like just a really good way to like see what I'm like again like what I'm better at or what I'm better at doing, and just like overall if that's the event for me or that I like more.
I also think parents are really important because like obviously they're there and they're supporting us, but like they do a lot for us too because like for example my mom is always supporting me and she's encouraging me to do my best and very optimistic, and my dad has taken a lot of coaching positions like when we haven't necessarily had other coaches, and like they're all good at their own things, and I think that's really important to realize because it can be hard to understand their perspective sometimes, but like they probably seen what you've been through and all that, so like I'm sure you can probably relate, right, Dylan?
Yeah, it's like they just provide us with everything we need to succeed, especially in sports like running or football or basketball or whatever it is like for example like our mom like providing us with meals or our dad coaching. It's just like it's like a really good way to support us and help us succeed.
And I will say, like, before some of my biggest races or like important wins or times I beat people I've been really wanting to beat for a while, I've usually been told something by my mom or my dad, like, you can beat him, or, um, you've got this. And it seems pretty simple, but like, it gets in my head in the best way. It's like, you know what? Now that they told me that, I believe because I know they know what they're saying. I know they have the experience and all this and that. So like, that's also very important in my opinion too.
Yeah, and like people knowing or like being happy with the outcome no matter what, or being supportive with the outcome. It's good to have them, and it's you feel like when you're running or doing a sport or whatever, you feel like you're doing it for them and yourself because you're just it's what they've provided for you and you're using it in a good way.
And it's also very important to, they're providing you all this support and stuff, but they're not providing it so you can just give up and ease up and not use the opportunities as they're intended to be used. Because, like, having that support and stuff and having the opportunities that you might have in sports and stuff, it's a privilege. So that doesn't mean go hammer races when coach tells you, hey, just chill out. You're going to win this, just take this as a tempo. But, like, it does mean going hard when you're supposed to be going hard. Like, if you guys drove 2 hours for an invite for the competition, don't just give up. Try your best, even if the time doesn't go as intended. Like, you come through slower than you expected through the first half of the race. Like, just stick to the plan and keep pushing, because I know for a fact that parents just want to see you try your hardest and do the best you can, because they know that that's the best you can do and that's all they ask of you. All right, we're gonna wrap up the podcast now, guys. Thank you for being on here, Dylan. Any last insights?
Oh yeah, just make sure to stay confident and just know that the people around you that support you and push you are a big part of your success, and you should for sure like take time to admire what they do.
Yeah, I really think all the stuff that you said is true. Thank you guys so much for listening and supporting the podcast. We hope you enjoyed. Stay confident
Wait, can I
and
do it?
oh yeah, say it.
Stay speedy.